Hello everybody, my name is Sarah K. Regley and welcome to my channel. Today we are talking about 5 things I unexpectedly learned in college. Things that no one told me I would learn, had nothing to do with my classes and had everything to do with just personal experiences from the people I met and from the process of being in college. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. So one of the really important things that I learned in school is that intimate relationships don't necessitate a romantic outcome. I would often I wouldn't say mistake, but I had feelings of really liking somebody and wanting to show how much I loved him, and I would hope that it would turn into something deeper and something better. And looking back on those relationships, if I paused and had some perspective and realized, hey, I can't really grow in this kind of romantic relationship with this individual, but we can continue to have an intimate friendship where we talk about deep and important things. And you have this, it's not just a surface level acquaintance or someone you work with, it's someone who you care for in a very deep way. And you can have that for somebody without it necessarily being sexual, without it necessarily being romantic. And it doesn't mean it's a failed relationship or that they don't love you just because they don't pursue that kind of relationship with you, or maybe you don't want to pursue that kind of relationship with them. Our media has very few portrayals of intimate relationships where it doesn't tinge on the question of, is there something sexual about to happen? In real life, you could have many people you have that closeness with who aren't going to be your significant other. They're not your spouse. They're not your husband, your wife. They aren't the person you're going to spend the rest of your life with. But that doesn't make the relationship lesser than. It doesn't make the relationship a failure. It doesn't make you dumb for wanting that with them, maybe at some point or another. It just means you weren't the right person for each other. So that was something that I learned through some of these really close relationships that I had, where I'd only had the adolescent feelings of, I like you, I want to be with you. And it wasn't until I'm older that I realized that you can have really close friendships with people without wanting anything romantic or having anything romantic with them. Lesson number 2 from school is that college made me very productive, and I always asked myself why, and then I realized it had to do with the fact that there was a very strict built-in structure and schedule. This isn't something that I really came to acknowledging until after school, and after you graduate, no one is telling you what to do with your time. No one's telling you when you have to wake up. If you have a job, you do have to show up and do the work, but after that you're kind of left for a free-for-all to do what you want. And I looked back on those years and I'm like, oh my gosh, I got so much accomplished. How did I do all of that? How did I see so many people? How did I accomplish so much? And then I realized it's because of the schedule. It was built in. It was already there for me. And so now, after post-college, I'm currently trying to learn how to create that same kind of productivity that I had in school, now that I'm not in school anymore, except now I get to choose what I spend my time doing, as opposed to some curriculum telling me what I should be doing. Lesson number 3 is that you will learn your coping mechanism when you are in college. The high amount of stress involved in school will push you to your limits at times, and you will see where your weaknesses are. I found when I was in school, I would reach towards carbohydrates and caffeine to give me that quick energy, to give me that boost, to get me through the night so I could accomplish everything I needed to do. And I was very much a workaholic, and I found when I wasn't busy enough, I needed more things to do. And it became a really negative cycle of work, caffeine, carbs, work, caffeine, carbs, and I gained a lot of weight during college. And it wasn't until after school that I lost the weight and I recognized, oh, this is something I learned about myself. I didn't know about this about myself until I was put under such stressful circumstances. And in the same vein, it is really important to address these habits as soon as you can, so that way you can watch your habits, you can watch yourself and learn to love yourself and take care of yourself And when you recognize, I reach for alcohol, I reach for sex, I reach for porn, I reach for partying, I reach for shallow friendships to distract me from what I'm feeling right now so I can escape what I'm feeling and that heaviness that you have inside of you. But I'm here to tell you right now that if you do not watch yourself, you do not take care of yourself, the ramifications of these things that you learn and these habits that you develop and these escapist things that you do, even though for many people they see that as being normal, you do not learn how to properly love yourself. You do not learn how to properly take care of yourself, and you may carry on the ramifications of these things for a very long time. I know people who are in their 20s, their 30s, their 40s, who are still carrying the baggage of these poor habits that they carried with them from their 20s. So be mindful of this. This isn't to say walk around in fear of trying anything or meeting anybody, but it is to watch your routine, watch your habits, keep track of how you're feeling so that we can take care of yourself. And that's something that I learned, and I would want to pass on that lesson as soon as you can because it's really important. Lesson number 4 is knowing your abilities is more important than being a teacher's favorite. And this, I think, applies more specifically to people who are in performance-based majors, especially if you're in the arts. Many times you will find that you have professors who really enjoy one person's work, or they will have whatever you want to call a teacher's favorite, and will often promote them and to give them opportunities that they don't give to everybody. And while this is normal in gig economies and that type of behavior is very much relevant to anybody who is an artist or involved in the gig economy, is that it's all about connections, who you know, and working hard and in continuing in that. So that's not necessarily a bad thing. However, if you find yourself on the end where you're like, wow, this teacher doesn't like me. This professor does not think I'm cool. I'm here to tell you right now, you will not be everybody's cup of tea, but that is not the reason for you to stop pursuing what you love to do. I've learned that it's more important to know yourself, embrace the gifts that you know that you have, and as you meet people who can see the value in what you do and understand your perspective, or maybe don't even understand you, but they love your work, slowly incorporate them into your circle and have people who do believe in you. Don't let the few teachers or professors who don't seem to appreciate you get in your way of pursuing what you know you're meant to do and what you love to do. And honestly, I have found on the other end that these students, even if maybe they're not the most artistically gifted, they're not the most naturally talented, they aren't the person that was given all the opportunities by professors within their little bubble of school. However, when they know themselves, they know what they bring to the table, and they refine themselves to the best that they can, and they keep on knocking on their own doors and their own opportunities, those often are the people who make it farther than people who had opportunities just handed to them because they were so naturally gifted. And learning how to stand up for yourself, how to build yourself up, and how to get back on your feet when you hear no every single day is much better in the long run than someone who has had everything handed to them and they don't know how to pursue their own opportunities for themselves. And the 5th lesson that I learned is that I met diversity amongst singularity. While it is a very good thing to surround yourself amongst people who have had different life experiences than you, who are from different cultures than you, and who've had different experiences of the world than you, the college itself cannot embody that diversity of those individuals. Schools often want the veneer of diversity without the ramifications of having to change what their system is and how things work in order to fit the diverse people who they claim to serve. It's important to note that colleges is a business, and businesses want people to be attracted to going to them, whether it be a prestigious school and they want to maintain their sense of prestige, or being a relatable school and they want to feel like anybody can go there. It still is a business, and they want to portray themselves in a way that will make people want to come. That's not to say it doesn't matter what school you go to and diversity doesn't matter, because it really does. And I got to meet a lot of really interesting people who have had many different experiences on a personal level. However, on the mass school cultural level, I question the integrity of the love of diversity, but I celebrate the individuals who I had the opportunity to meet amongst that. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Sarah K. Regley, and I make videos about intentional living so we can move in the direction of life that we want to go. And if you've had any of these experiences, whether you've been to school, you're thinking about going to school, or you've been out of school for a while, any of these ever pop up? Have you ever had any of these concerns or experiences? Let me know in the comments down below, and I'd love to continue this discussion right down there. Thank you so much for watching, and if you like this kind of content, please subscribe so we can keep this conversation going and continue to build this community. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great rest of your day. Bye!